Hello, everyone, and welcome to Comedy. I'm Greg, the host and curator of all the shows on the Indie Drop-In Network. Every week, I find a funny episode that I think you will love from an independent podcast creator. If you like what I do here and want to support the show, you can buy me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/indie drop-in. Today's episode is from In a World of Improvised Movie Homages. In a World of Improvised Movie Homages is a funny podcast that uses short-form improv comedy games to tell long-form improvised stories in the style of famous movies. If you enjoy this episode from In a World of Improvised Movie Homages, make sure to check out the show notes for links to subscribe and follow on social media. Enjoy the show.
Begin.
In a world starved for entertainment and humor, two brave best friends create an epic podcast that defies the odds and redefines cinematic.
Dude, it's just a podcast where we use short-form improv games to tell long-form improvisational movie homages.
Right. You're listening to In a World of Improvised Movie Homages. I'm your co-host, Avish Parashar, and I'm an improv comedian and a professional speaker.
And I am your co-host, Mike Worth, and I am also an improv comedian and professional film and video game composer.
We both love improv, movies, and storytelling, along with getting a little bit silly and ridiculous.
And hey, if you also like these things, then you are in the right place, because that's what this show is all about.
So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of In a World of Improvised Movie Homages. I am your co-host, Avish, and as with me always, Mike.
My lovely assistant. Hi Avish, how you doing, brother?
Not assistant.
That's right, I am not. I have equal power in this random chaos that is our podcast. How you doing, man?
That's right. How are you doing today, Mike?
I'm really glad that we're a podcast and not a YouTube stream, because I am celebrating our today's episode with a Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer size red noggin, or a honker. I got bit by a spider and I look hideous.
Yeah, you look like a stereotypical cartoon whenever they want to show an old drunken man.
Yep, art imitating life.
Nose.
Yeah. I literally am like the cartoon W.C. Fields from Bugs Bunny. That's what I look like right now.
Exactly. Looks so good. Well, yes, this is an audio podcast, so you do not have the privilege of seeing it, but maybe we'll take a picture and let people see it.
Oh, that would be fantastic.
Well, if you are listening to us for the first time, we don't normally talk about spider bites. In fact, here's how our show works. Mike and I, we love improv comedy, movies, and storytelling, so we combine them into one show. We are going to improvise a movie for you in audio podcast form. We're going to tell you that story by playing a series of improv comedy games. We're going to start with a genre or example movie as our starting point, and then we break our show down into 4 sections. First, we spend 5 minutes discussing the tropes and commonalities of the genre. Then we spend 5 minutes hashing out a high-level outline for that movie. Then we spend about 5 minutes picking which improv games we're going to play to act out each act of the movie. Mm-hmm. And once that's all set, our 4th section is showtime. We perform the show.
Unedited, uncut, completely live.
That's right, baby.
That's right, baby.
So to begin, Mike, why don't you let everyone know our starting movie or genre for today?
I am so excited to talk about this because we are headed into my favorite season of the world, which is Christmas and Advent and all that stuff, which means Hallmark movies are coming out and about. Yes, you know those movies, those feel-good movies where the hero or heroine learns about the spirit of Christmas, changing to become someone better, and there's cute little musical numbers and everything's snowy, and we are going to give our loving homage to those types of movies today. As a matter of fact, Avish broke it down into 2 categories. So we're doing one category of Hallmark movie today, and then we're doing the second category in a couple of weeks.
That's right. And so I actually broke it down into 4 categories, but we're not going to get into all that right now. Well, I guess we'll get into the tropes when we talk about that.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, Hallmark, like the Hallmark Channel movies are a trope in and of themselves, and the sub-trope Hallmark Christmas movies. It's Countdown to Christmas, if you've heard it. Full disclaimer, it's a guilty pleasure of mine. It's the perfect level of mindlessness. It puts me in the Christmas spirit. It always feels good. It's positive.
Oh yeah.
And
Zero
the one
apologies.
thing that I'll talk about this now because it's not a trope we can actually use. Whoever the lighting people are, it's like the same. They all have the same lighting. It's the warmest lighting you'll see in any movie or TV show. It just feels warm. The entire thing feels warm.
It is. It's so close. I just watched one of them yesterday to get warmed up for this, and I was like, oh my God, everything just looks so cozy. Even when it's like snowing and you're going through and they're all bundled up, I'm like, but they're so cozy because it's like warm
like
snow.
I want those houses and that lighting and that room for Christmas.
Oh God,
night is the same. The morning is white. The night's got that warm candlelight. Even if there's no candles in the house, it's got that candlelight kind of feel.
Oh yeah. That's
all right. So we obviously want to talk about this. We're going to get into that first. A couple quick announcements. Number one. Quick request. If you like this, if you listen to this, you like it, or if you've listened to our show for a while, well, thank you, number one. If this is your first time with us, please go ahead and subscribe to our podcast. You can get every episode as they come out. We do a different genre. Every show is a different starting point in genre, so it's not all Hallmark movies. And if you do like what you hear here, please go over to iTunes or Apple Podcasts, whatever podcast system you use. Give us a 5-star rating and write us a short little review that just a couple sentences about why you like the show and why others should listen. Those things go a long way to helping us grow the show and kind of keep going and do more and more fun for you. And final thing before we get into our first section, if you're not interested in the discussion of the genres or listening to us talk about the outline or the picking the games, if you just want to hear the finished product and the improv comedy, jump ahead. If whatever app you're in the show notes, or on the blog page for this, it'll give you the exact time code. You can jump ahead to the start of the show.
Yep.
But it's roughly about the 20-minute mark of the episode.
Sure. But you'll be missing out.
You will be missing out.
You'll be missing out.
Fun. All right. So with all that business out of the way, this brings us to segment 1, discussing the tropes. So we are now going to spend 5 minutes talking about the tropes, cliches, and commonalities of the Hallmark Christmas movie, and oh boy, are they a lot of them, and they're in all of them.
I just
fresh 5-minute duck timer now.
Yes, sir.
All right, well, Mike, I did not feel the need to rewatch one. I haven't gotten into the Hallmark spirit yet. Obviously this is a Christmas movies, but we're still before Thanksgiving when we're recording it, so I haven't quite. But I've seen so many of these over the years that I didn't feel like needed to watch one.
Oh no, yeah.
But since you just watched one, why don't you tell us what are some of them that jumped out at you?
I'm surprised I've not watched too many of these. I've definitely watched like 3 or 4 of them. Like everybody's watched one, but I'm not the aficionado you are. So the one I watched yesterday was called Christmas Reunion or whatever. It's all the same thing. Okay, this is not hard to figure out. The whole thing is the main character is on this kind of redemptive arc to learn about the spirit of Christmas. And usually the person is high-powered, socialite, banker, businessman, right? They're super high-powered, and they get put in a situation where they have to do the fish out of water, and they have to...
they always start out in the big city, fast-paced lifestyle.
Yep.
Corporate climber.
Yep.
Ambitious.
Wanting for nothing materially. That's the big thing. Wanting for nothing materially, right?
Yeah, they've got all the material things.
Yep.
And they're on the cusp. Often they're on the cusp of the big deal that's going to make their career.
Or the big promotion. Yeah, right. And everything looks great with whoever they have for their wife or husband or fiance, because it's never a wife or husband. Well, it can be. It's always eye candy and and then the inciting incident happens that forces them to have to end up in a small town America that is...
Always go to a small town.
Yep.
I will say that they're not always with someone. Sometimes they're single.
True.
But if they're with someone, then they're with the wrong person.
Definitely, yeah, because there's the entire Act 2 is a giant love story of them in a new place. Yeah. So you're absolutely right. They end up in fish out of water in this small town, can be anywhere, but it's just not the big city. Some of the other tropes. The town
they usually are at the small town because they're often sent to the small town or end up in the small town to conduct business.
Yes.
In a negative way. They want to demolish, they want to tear down the town's Christmas tree that's been there for 100 years to make room for a shopping mall, or they want to they're there to kind of tear up the fabric of the town.
Right.
But then they get sucked into the town and then they realize, oh no.
Yeah. And so there's trope number 2. The town is populated by eccentric but affably lovable characters that are just completely like charmingly eccentric and, you know, that kind of thing. You've always got some worldly matrony figure who plays kind of like a female mentor kind of thing. Sometimes you'll get a male mentor.
I will say it's a mentor figure. Sometimes it's a kindly old man. Sometimes it's a kindly old woman.
Yeah.
I would say it's either a kindly old man or a kindly kind of sassy old woman.
Yeah. For example, yesterday, the one that I got was Andie MacDowell played the sassy woman. She played the owner of the restaurant, the town restaurant, who imparted wisdom to the girl who was the heroine for and she looks great, by the way, just like what's her face in Spider-Man Homecoming as Aunt May. She's just aging beautifully. So, Oh yeah. Okay.
Also, we should just call it as it is. The protagonist in these 98% of the times is a female.
Yeah, I don't really think, like, barring something like a Nick Cage one where he did the alternate timeline, which is the fantasy one, it's almost always a female protagonist.
Yeah, there might be some that have male protagonists, and sometimes it's set up as, like, two protagonists, because you know, sometimes it's both need to learn a lesson, but
yeah,
a female is almost always like.
So, another trope, when she meets the future love interest, they don't hit it off. Initially.
Yes, they never hit it off.
Right. But they have to work together because of whatever this person, the female protagonist, needs to do. This guy's either the obstacle or he has to aid her or whatever. And of course, he doesn't want her to do it, et cetera, et cetera.
And they're going to butt heads over the whole like small town life versus big city fast pace.
It's like you saw yesterday's movie with me.
Right? It's like, I tell you, man, it's awesome.
You cannot put too many homages to Christmas in this. Everything is, you know, anytime there's a cut, you're hearing Silent Night and Jingle Bells. You're hearing Frosty the Snowman. Eggnog everywhere. It's always snowing. There's
often an event, a Christmas event, the Christmas pageant, the Christmas carol parade, the gingerbread contest.
Are you saying the newcomer partakes in an old family or town Christmas tradition?
Yes, exactly.
Because that's on the drinking card I got. There has to be caroling. There's absolutely caroling. Like, she literally got off the bus in the movie yesterday at small town. The town was called Snowy Falls. I was like,
the names are always like
Holly,
always names of like Christmas themes or Holly,
Ivy,
Nick.
Chris, but with a K, like Chris for Chris Kingle, Nick,
Chris,
yeah.
All right, that's our duck timer, but I'm having fun talking about any other. So the thing we were talking about, this is when we get into the outline. You know, there's that turning point where they need to decide, you know, which way to go. And she's so warmed by the town that she kind of, but oftentimes, although not always, sometimes the writing is so lazy, and I love it. They don't even do like a great twist to like how she gets out of like her corporate versus her, you know, sometimes it's just like, oh no, we're just going to watch the deal and that's going to be worth it. Like, okay.
All right.
And the way you manage to make it all work, you're just like, okay, we'll just screw over millions of dollars with this business and the people are going to make the money.
But it's the spirit of Christmas is okay. Oh, and that's the other thing is the woman, the protagonist is either a bah humbug Scrooge or she's just too busy to care about Christmas, but she's filled with the spirit of Christmas at the critical part in Act 3. So, and
she gets the spirit and the final thing I want to say about this is
so much.
the antagonists are never fully bad. They're often mismatched or misguided, but they're never evil. So at the end, even the bad guys are positive.
Yeah.
Even if it's like a married woman who's dumping her family, the husband's like, I understand.
Yeah. Spineless cowards.
Yeah, but like even the corporate overlords who want to buy out this small town,
you
know, often they're like, you know, neutral. Sometimes they're positive, they're neutral, but it's never like an evil person who's just trying to crush the town.
Yeah, like an old Western. Like, it's never like Blazing Saddles where it's like, you know, the bad guy. By the way, 2 more things, then we're going to move on, I promise. There's always a reference to a dead relative. Always by the protagonist. Always. Dead relative. And it always snows at the very end because it's always Christmas Eve or Christmas.
Oh, yeah. Even if it's like in Hawaii or California, there's got to be snow.
We're going to do this in Mexico.
With the romance angle, there's also, along the villain thing, there's sometimes a competing love interest, like another woman.
Yeah.
But also she ends up not being bad. Like,
yeah.
You know, a lot of the conflict is around misunderstandings. Like they think these two are flirting when in fact they're not. But even like when there's a rival female, that woman might even be later on like, look, like, you know, you guys are so right for each other. I don't want to get in the way. It's all just so like saccharine, sweet, positive. Even the conflict is like, no, it's fine.
Oh yeah, I deliberately didn't do this because it's going to be too much work for me to do this. But when we do this in post production, I'm dropping in jingle bells and I'm dropping in jingle bells on the piano all over the place in our podcast because it's everywhere, right? It's like
the themes, the music themes. All right.
Oh yeah.
Oh, just real quick, because
I love this genre.
It's so much fun. It's rare that we get a genre that is so obvious. Like,
it's so.
But this is not even genre. So when we talk about the two types of movies, like those four,
Oh yeah,
I created a little matrix. There's
you're such a
on the
nerd.
vertical axes, if you
Such
have
a nerd.
comedic versus dramatic, and then on the horizontal axes, you have supernatural or not supernatural,
or everyday, right?
Yeah. So these like the four. There's like the comedic ones where there's no supernatural element, like a mix-up or a small town or
Fish out of water.
romance.
Yeah.
And then there's comedic with supernatural element, like, oh, this person might be Santa Claus, or this person acts as granted a wish. And then you have the same two things with dramatic, where it's like, it's got some comedy, but really it's much more serious and romantic. It's like more introspective.
Yeah.
But again, sometimes you have...
Yeah, it might be a guy who like gave up on Christmas because his family died on Christmas years ago and he
Exactly,
learns to
and
fall
some
back in love.
self-compassion,
Yeah, yeah.
So supernatural versus not comedic. So we are going with comedic, non-supernatural.
Right, comedic every
and
day.
Our plan, and you'll hear this episode in a couple weeks. And if you are listening to this episode, on December 7th, I think is when this one's going live. So if you're listening to this on the day it comes out, I believe tonight on December 7th, we are doing a live episode. Go to avishamike.com, check out our episodes list there or our blog post to get the info.
Yeah.
So in any case, all right, that brings us now to segment 2, creating the outline. All right, now we're going to spend about 5 minutes creating a high-level outline for our Hallmark Christmas movie.
There's nothing creative about
We're going to
this.
use a 4-act structure where we kind of have the setup, the kind of reactive phase, the proactive phase, and then the resolution for our 4-act structure. And this is our starting point. We may veer from it because it's improv comedy, but this is what we're going to use kind of as our guide. So our 5 minute starts now. All right, so we often start with either a prologue or movie trailer. For a Hallmark movie, I can't even imagine how to do a prologue.
No, it's totally a movie
so
trailer. It's totally a movie trailer.
Trailer.
We're doing a trailer, absolutely. Yeah. I was watching Predator last week, and I'm like, how can you do a prologue? I was like, gonna be all dun 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 dun.
Yeah, exactly. So you've watched 2 Christmas movies in the last.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so real fast.
A very
First,
Predator Christmas.
A very Predator Christmas. I'll give you your
All right,
spine
so Act
back.
1.
I'll give you your spine.
Act 1, we have to meet the hero.
She's going to be a
heroine
female.
or
Just make her a
protagonist.
female. Just make the female. Meet the female, and establish her ordinary world where she's
the city, the fast pace.
Yep, high powered.
You establish the stakes, like why. There's almost always a promotion involved. Like, if you do this, you'll get the promotion or the big deal. Or
the big deal, or like the merger or whatever. It's a big financial thing. And
I'd say she has to go to the.
Yeah,
she goes to the small town.
Yeah, she has to go to the small town. We'll figure out why. Look, but she should do it proactively. She should be like, well,
the stakes that her task is usually based around that. Like, you got to go to the small town and convince the lodge owners to sell, or you gotta go get rid of that dog shelter because it's in the way of our highway we're trying to build. Like whatever.
Boy, man,
she's tasked.
We had to drop that hard, man. Yeah. So that's
exactly. If she has, because she will often have like a boyfriend
or a fiance, right?
Yeah, and so we got to meet that person.
Yep. But he does not accompany her to the small town because the whole point is you have to have the Act 2 conflict when he shows up.
Exactly.
All right, so then
he'll come back for Act 3 or 4.
Yeah,
probably Act 4, like the end of Act 3.
And she ends Act 1 with pretty much getting to that town, and that's the crossing of the threshold. She goes off the bus, she gets off
town,
the train.
maybe meeting the love interest, kind of meeting, but something to get to the town. All right, cool.
God, man, it's like you're reciting the movie I saw yesterday.
the outline is going to be so simplistic. These movies are so simple. They churn them out, baby. That's how you can churn these movies out.
This is great, man.
They put out like 20 a year. It's amazing.
All right, so she gets in Act 2. Here's what happens. She's stymied to finish her job for whatever reason. The reason could be
she thinks it's going to be easy, but then from like the moment one, like
for yesterday's one, the guy who she had to talk to sign the documents was out of town for the week because he had done a walkabout. I was like, why are you doing a walkabout on December 22nd? Okay, whatever. So she's forced to acclimate to the town. And that's where she meets the trials, all the cast of wacky characters that are charmingly eccentric.
Right. She has to stay. She meets the cast.
Yep.
Particularly the love interest, the mentor.
Now, there is this is where she gets pulled unwillingly into Christmas traditions of a lighter nature, because later she uses her real world expertise to help the small town with a potentially failed Christmas tradition. That's one thing we haven't talked about.
Oh yes, they always uses her like, oh well, I was a ballerina, or my architecture skills will help us design this gingerbread house.
Yeah, exactly. But in the beginning, she doesn't want anything to do with it. So it's like, come on, we're gonna go ice skating. We all ice skate, and then we all help build a snowman. And she's like, I don't want to do it, kind of thing, right? So,
and we need to see the initial friction, but also heat between the two main characters.
Yes,
like,
because there's near miss kisses.
Oh yes, near miss kisses.
Where she falls into his.
That should be the title for a Hallmark movie. Near miss kisses. Like that.
That's, you know what? Forget
maybe,
the one.
Forget the one time we're doing that one.
We're doing
that. That may have to be
near miss kiss. Let's just do it, man. I don't care. Hey, it's our show. Near miss kiss. I love that idea.
It's still improvised. We just came up with it, but near miss kiss. I'm sorry. This should come out of the improv. Our main character's last name has to be Kiss.
Oh my God, so yes.
Miss Kiss, near Miss Kiss. It's a Miss Kiss, but her name.
Done.
Hallmark movies always have that double entendre with their title.
So our main character is Miss Holly.
We can give her whatever first name we want, but her last name has to be Kiss.
Yeah, near Miss Kiss is the title of this. This is brilliant.
I haven't had this much fun doing one of our outlines like ever. We've done some of our favorite movie genres we love to watch.
Yeah,
this is just
entertaining
the hell out of it. All right,
near Miss Kiss, I love it.
So she meets the characters. She engages in a tradition that she's not super good at or into. Has some friction, almost kisses. There's that weird romantic tension,
right?
And then something has to happen at the end of that act, which shifts her. Usually, there's like a moment, right? Like the main two characters, the love interest and her, are like on a walk and they have some interaction or some conversation, which kind of starts to melt her a little bit.
Yeah.
But then when she wakes up the next day, she kind of jumps more into the town's kind of feel. So we need a moment that's going to shift her perception of Christmas.
Am I getting too detailed with this? Is there sometimes quiet duck, we're having too much fun.
Quiet, dude. That was the duck timer. We're going to keep going.
Yeah. Like a character that might be in trouble and she has to kind of step up to help. For example, yesterday there was a homeless guy, and then when the snowfall hit, they had to go out and find him so he didn't freeze to death. Kind of thing.
There is often someone to help. There's bonding. Oftentimes it's with a kid. Like a lot of times the main male character has children, and then the female sort of bonds with them as like a motherly figure, and that's kind of how the male starts to see the woman in a different way. She seemed all business, but oh look, she's really sweet.
Yeah.
And then the girl can, the kid can kind of serve as like a catalyst or a matchmaker a little bit. So there could be like a helping thing.
Now,
all right, so.
Yeah. So
I was going to say, moving on to Act 3.
Yeah,
we're only halfway through our outline. We're at the 5-minute box.
It's great. But Act 3 is pretty easy. Act 3 is where two things are happening, which is the town is getting ready for its big Christmas celebration, and there's some impediments. And the girl is running out of time to close out what she needs to do for her company. And this is where the switch happens, where the girl leverages her old knowledge. By the way, old job, new job. It's already showing up.
That's possible, yeah. Might be too on point, but we'll see.
She leverages her old knowledge to help with the new tradition. For example, there was the one I saw yesterday was a raffle, a silent raffle. So she leverages her ability to fundraise to get everyone to donate stuff. Conversely, this is when the boyfriend or the fiance shows up to leverage pressure to close the deal.
Yes, the original fiance or boyfriend comes back. Yep. And I would say in Act 3, the other thing that happens is she helps the town, and the town starts to warm to her. They start to trust her, and they're almost ready to do what she's asking them to, because they built that connection. And then like the boyfriend comes in and makes it worse, or reveals how bad it's. And she probably doesn't even know, like, oh, I didn't know you were going to destroy the animal shelter. I thought you were just going to, build around it.
Right.
And I would say that when there is a big Christmas tradition, that in Act 3, she's using her skills to help it. But I think the thing doesn't actually happen until Act 4.
Agreed, because she's supposed to have left. She leaves, has a change of heart in Act 4 at the airport.
She does often leave at the end of Act 3, or something at the end of it happens where everything falls apart. Her romance falls apart. The town doesn't like her.
Hero's darkest hour. Yep.
She's often going back to stay with the fiance.
Yep. Exactly.
And she's like, all right, I'll go back with you.
Yep. And then...
all right. In Act 4... she has a revelation. She comes running back. She does the big thing. She figures out the way of saving the town and her career, or just saving the town and saying, screw the career. I want to be just a small town person now.
Exactly, and she's rewarded, and she falls in love with the guy, and it snows, and there's ugly sweaters, and there's a lot of
dolly
jingle bells.
fade out shot that you pull.
Oh God, yes, with the gorgeous lighting, and oh yeah,
the lighting! I wish we could do the lighting.
I know, it's like we're so not. Oh,
all right. Well, we have a nice outline. We have a trailer and 4 acts. So that brings us to segment 3: choosing the games. All right, we are now going to pick. We spent about 5 minutes picking improv games. For each act plus the movie trailer that we came up with, we are going to pick an improv game to act out that part of the story. Mike and I are going to discuss it and pick them. If you aren't familiar with the names as we're saying them, don't worry. At the end, I will recap what each game is. And we'll also go over them before we play them during the show. So, 5 minutes. All right, so let's have some fun with this one. So,
done. Done and done. Act 1, she's in the big city. We establish the character. We establish her the financial thing she needs to do. Everything's all about material goods for her. She's still likable. She's not shallow, but
yeah, not a lot happens in Act 1.
It's established.
The one that we didn't mention in the outline or the tropes is there's usually a friend back home who she talks to on the phone periodically.
Oh yeah, that's kind of a wisdom from afar.
Checks in, gets updates, what's going on, and you might meet that person in Act 1. Yeah. So I think a good like storytelling type one, like a last letter, first letter, or last word, first word could work.
Yeah.
I think.
Last word, first word is fun, or last letter, first letter.
All right, should we do last letter, first letter?
Yeah, sure. Why not? It'll be fun. That's our Act 1 game.
All right, Act 2. This is where we got to meet a bunch of different characters. And we're going to have that first kind of Christmas tradition, which is not going to work quite right.
Right, with the town's tradition that she's not really into. What are we thinking here?
It could be fun. Let's do theater genres. So it's where we do a continuous story, but we switch the genre as we're going.
Ooh, yeah.
Because then for like each character we meet and then the Christmas tradition, we can kind of switch the genre.
Yes. So theatrical genres. Yeah, so the scene continues and we just adapt into the new genres as it's happening, right?
Yeah, so we incorporate everything we did, but now we got to add, change it to the new genre and then go. So we have kind of genre within a genre since we're playing a whole game about genres, or a whole show about genres, but I think that'll be fun.
Yeah, I love it. It's great.
For Act 3, this is where things start going well. She's going to use her knowledge. But and then it ends though with the sorry, I had a thought, but maybe not.
No. Throw the thought out. I want to hear it.
Well, I was thinking that for Act 2, we do this game a lot, so I'm not sure if I want to do it right now. But best of times, worst of times, for how she's like meeting the guy. Oh, he's beautiful, but
we should do that. Come on, who cares? All
right, so let's do best of times, worst of times.
Yeah, look.
And then you want to do theater genres for Act 3, or do you want to do something else for Act 3?
Theater genres could work for Act 3. We might do 2 games in Act 3. I am thinking Old Job, New Job might work for the first chunk of Act 3. But we make it tight and fast because all that game is for is her solving the tradition problem. And then theater genres will be when the dude shows up and she has to deal with, leaving and stuff. So we do 2 games in Act 3, but we make them short, like 2 minutes.
All right, so we'll do a fast Old Job, New Job to start. And that's just like how she's using her skills to help. And then theater genres for how that takes us through the boyfriend showing up, the conflict, her going back home.
Yeah, the betrayal and all that stuff, right?
Okay, and then we'll end. All right, I like it.
I think it's going to work. And then end with cutting room because we always do, which is perfect.
Yep. Which takes us back to the movie trailer. We just need, how do you want to do? Do you want to do a straight movie trailer? Do we want to do an improv game for movie trailer?
I want to do straight movie trailer because I'm feeling like I want to start off as the narrator for this, if that's cool.
Absolutely.
But we need, wait. My wait is a good wait. It's the title of our film is going to be Near Miss Kiss. Right? And...
Yep.
Okay, and then can you just quickly review the games before we jump in, just so I have them all set up?
All right, so the games we've done. For our movie trailer, we're just going to improvise a quick movie trailer. Then for Act 1, we're going to do an improv game called Last Letter, First Letter, where we will be either acting out scenes or telling us stories. But when we do, whoever speaks the first word they say the first letter of the first word they say has to be the last letter of the last word the person for it. So if I say, hey, Mike ends with an E, Mike would have to start his sentence with an E. If he said, every day you ask me that, I would have to start with a T, and so on. Then we do best of times, worst of times, which is where we start out doing a scene or a story. At any point, either one of us can clap our hands and switch to either best of times or worst of times, at which point, if it's best, everything is great. If it's worst, everything is horrible, and back and forth. Then we're going to do a quick old job, new job, where we get 2 jobs. Well, we'll already have the new job because we'll know what this woman's job is. And then we'll get an old job, and we'll have to see how she uses the old job affects how she does the new job. And when we did this in the past, we've also just, when random characters, we've thrown in old jobs for other characters as well to kind of spice it up.
Yeah.
Then we'll do a game called Theater Genres where we'll start out just doing a normal scene. That's our timer. And then at any point, we will clap and throw out a new genre, and the scene will have to take on that genre, continuing so as if everything already happened, and we'll switch a few times. Finally, we end with a game we always end with called Cutting Room, where we'll start a scene. At any point, Mike or I can clap our hands and say cut to, and then we'll cut to another scene, a different character, something outside the world of the movie, just a lot of randomness and fun.
Yes.
So, Mike, are you need anything else here?
No, man, I'm good. I'm so excited. I've already got our character's name too. I'm super excited. It is improv. I thought it up, So I think we're just ready for our last segment, which is
segment 4, Showtime. All right, well, now we are going to perform the show, and normally this is where we come up with our movie title, but we've already got it.
Dear Miss Kiss.
So just a quick reminder, if you like what you've heard so far, and if you like what you will hear now for the next 40 minutes or so, and if you're a fan of improv comedy, and you know other people who are, do us a favor, help us spread the word. Number one, grab the link to this episode or our website, avishandmike.com. Post it on your favorite social media platform. Subscribe to our podcast. Give us a rating. Give us a good review. Help us spread the word. We would truly appreciate that. All right. So now, without further ado, we will first perform the movie trailer for Near Miss Kiss.
Right. And here's the best part. There's going to be music under this in post-production. And I'll start and trailer. Noelle Kiss had it all. A great job as vice president in her father's lumber company. A great fiancé and a brand new car. But there was one thing missing from Noelle's life.
I don't know, Sheila. I'm so happy. Life is so good. I feel I should be more appreciative, but I don't know. Sometimes I just miss something, and I can't quite put my finger on what it is.
That something manifested when she was sent to Snowy Brook's town in order to help her father out with a brand new business venture.
Noelle, you're my daughter, and I love you, and I can't wait for you to take over this company someday. But in order for the rest of the board to trust you, you gotta close the big deal. So you gotta go.
Yeah.
You gotta get them to sell us the rights to that tree farm.
When she got to Snowy Brooks, she found a world she never experienced before and people she never dreamed lived in this earth.
Hi, you're a really lovely lady, and let me tell you something. This tree right here has been around since my father's grandfather. It's a part of history. You can feel the heartbeat of the tree when you put your hand on it.
Oh, wow, I think I can feel the heartbeat.
Join us as we see Noelle Kiss's journey from Big City to Snowy Brook Falls in our new Hallmark movie, Near Miss Kiss. I can do this shit till the cows come home, man.
Should not be. It's usually bad form to laugh at your own jokes, but man, this is entertaining me. All right.
I'm having a great time.
That was the movie trailer of...
I totally forgot the name of the town. It's Snowy Brook, right?
Snowy Brook Falls. You threw it all in there. So Snowy Brook Falls.
Snowy Brook Tree Falls. Snowy Brook Falls.
All right. So we are now going to see Act 1 of Near Miss Kiss with our main character, Noelle.
You like that shit?
That was a good call.
Yeah. I was like,
all right, so we're going to do an improv game called First Letter, Last Letter, where we'll act out a scene. And at any improv game, Mike and I may jump into narrator mode, we may jump into storytelling mode, and then we may jump back into acting out the scene.
Right.
But we're going to start out doing a scene, or however we speak. When someone speaks, the last letter of the last word they said has to then be the first letter of the first word the next person said, and so on to the end of the game. Okay. Are you ready?
I am.
All right, here we go. Oh, Daddy, I'm so happy that you have brought me in here. I tell you, whatever you need me to do, I am ready to take over the company.
Noel, it's so great to hear that.
Company.
Oh, right. Yes, Noel. That's a wonderful thing to hear. I've been looking forward to having you take over as I start to think about retirement. This lumber business is growing, and it turns out that fir trees are a huge explosion. We're going to make so much money, and you are going to be driving our brand new initiative.
Every day I wake up just wanting the chance to prove to you and the board I can do it. I'll tell you what, I will be the one to get this deal done, and we will get all the fir trees we need to take our company to the next level. I've got big plans to go for an IPO and for expansion. We are going to be the #1 lumber company in the world.
Don't tell me you've already been thinking about taking on that big deal we have out in Midwest Iowa, because there is a brand new evergreen farm that's having a little bit of trouble, and they might be just ripe for a profitable buyout that allows them to walk away rich and us to walk away with raw materials. Are you interested in running that deal?
Let me at those small town yokels. I will get them to do it. You know what, Daddy? Everyone out here calls you the lumber shark. Well, pretty soon they're going to call me the lumber sharkette, because I'm going to get those people to sign over that farm, and we are going to make such a profit, and it's going to come at the right time, because, you know, I think Dave is going to propose to me soon.
Knock, knock. Yes, come in. You wanted to see me, Mr. Kiss.
Your last letter.
All right. Yes, come in. Not
Noel.
to be. You go.
Noel, what? I thought we had lunch plans, Noel. Come on, you know I got to get back to work. I got China and Japan and Germany on the phone.
Every time we're sitting down with Dad, David, I have to focus on him. I really didn't mean to miss the dinner, but this is really important. It looks like I might be spearheading the deal over at Snowy Brook Falls to buy back the lumber, the evergreen tree farm. Aren't you excited for me? This could be what we need to be able to let him retire and take over the company.
You're right. I'm sorry. I could never be mad at such a pretty face like yours anyways. I'll tell you what, you go do what you need to with that small town. I'm going to stay here. That small town scene's not really for me, but you get there, you suffer through that, and get back here to me soon, and I'll treat you right as soon as you get home.
Exactly my thought. Dave, you're going to be a good addition to the family. Noel, I look forward to you going out there and closing the deal and letting us know when it's time for us to bring in our lumber trucks and decimate that farm.
Let's jump to the next morning when Noelle is at her car with Dave as she is about to drive off towards Snowy Brook Falls.
Mm-hmm. Noelle, do you have everything that you need? Do you have all of your documentation and all of this? I've put everything in that briefcase last night for you. I think you should be all set to be able to close the deal out at Snowy Brook Falls.
Stop babying me, David. Just because you're the one with the finance degree and the big business background, I've been working in my father's lumber company for years, so I know a thing or two. You don't need to worry about me. I'm going to come back. I'm going to be the little sharkette, and I'm going to close this deal, and we can move on with our lives. I just can't wait to get away from that small town and get back here into your arms.
Same with me. I can't wait for us to start our new lives together. Let me know how it goes. I'll be over here working the deal over on this side of the of the continent.
That would be great. And remember, if you need anyone to bounce ideas off, I'm assuming this small town won't have any cell phone service at all. So, you know, my best friend, Deborah, is happy to help you with any help you need, any conversations. And she said 24/7, you can call her and she can help you.
Usually I don't like to talk to women behind your back, but this sounds like a fantastic idea. Oh, here's the Greyhound bus. We'll see you in a couple of weeks.
See you. And seed.
I was like, what are we missing? Oh, right, the Greyhound bus.
That was a bus. Maybe a car. But if there's a car, there's usually going to be a car accident.
Dude, thanks for catching me, because when I played Daddy Kiss into David, you were like, no, you gotta do the thing, because it's two characters.
Yeah,
I was like,
get so into the story, sometimes you forget.
Can I just say I love this game? We should do this game more often. This is a lot of fun. It's a good one.
All right, so we've established our Act 1. We've got Noelle Kiss, we've got her dad without a name, we got David, and we got the friend Deborah, who may or may not do something in this.
Probably played by Joan Cusack.
Act 2, where we're going to do best of times, worst of times. Noelle gets to the town, In this game, we're going to start out doing the scene, maybe switching to narrator mode. At any point, one of us can clap and say best of times, at which point everything in the scene becomes good and positive and awesome. And then either one of us can clap and say worst of times, and then everything switches where everything's going wrong, is terrible, and problems.
Mm-hmm.
All right?
Yes. And that works both for narrator and speaking. So if we're narrating, we do best of times, worst of times. The narration goes best of times, worst of times.
Exactly.
Yeah, cool. You ready?
Yep.
Okay, and here we go. Boom. The camera pans in on the Greyhound bus pulling into the main street of a beautiful, snowy small town. The lighting is warm and beautiful. There's Christmas decorations hanging all throughout the lamppost, and kids are running around having a snowball fight. The bus pulls in, the doors open, and the bus driver comes out and starts pulling out the bags from the side of the bus.
Oh my God, this is so picturesque. I can't believe. Excuse me, Mr. Driver.
Yep.
Tell me, is there a Marriott here, an Embassy Suites, someplace I can? I came in such a rush that we didn't make any kind of hotel reservation.
Worst of times. Well, Marriott. It's got one of them big city things. Oh, you'll be lucky to even find a room right now. Everybody's come back to celebrate the holidays. All the inns, the North Side Inn and the Snowflake Inn, are both completely full up. I hope you have family to stay with.
Oh, no, I don't have anything. Could you at least help me? Could you help me take my suitcases up to that diner where I brought all my gear here with all my papers and stuff, and it's getting kind of cold out here in the snow.
Well, of course, little lady. Let me help you out here. As he turns, he accidentally slips, and the bags fly out into the road, and all of a sudden, a car comes by and smashes one of the bags. Her clothes flying everywhere and landing in the wet, snowy road.
Oh my God, those are all my clothes. What am I supposed to wear?
Best of times.
Well, looks like you've got a little problem there, lady. Don't worry.
Yes, I do. I'm sorry. I'm just very confused. I'm not used to having wet clothes.
She turns and looks and sees a handsome man, very well dressed, who reaching out a hand to help her get up. Now, listen, miss, don't worry about it. I know it's a tragedy, but guess what? My family owns this diner, and there's a gift shop in there, and it's not probably the fancy clothes looks like you're clearly accustomed to wearing, but we can get you some good clothes, and I'll tell you what, because you're going to, we will give it to you free of charge, just to give you some of that Christmas spirit.
Oh, thank you so much. My name is Holly. I'm new here. Holly Kiss. It's so good to meet you.
Holly, but the monogram on your sweater says Noel.
Oh, I mean Noel. Sorry. I was just so distracted by all of the beautiful holly and the wreath. Noel Kiss, that's my name. I'm just a little flustered here. I'm sorry. I think it's a wonderful idea.
It's so funny that you would say Holly, because it just took me by surprise because my wife was named Holly. She sadly,
worst of times.
She sadly passed away. I'd like to say it was painless, but she got a disease, and it took about 6 months, slowly eating away at her. And I think the final thing is when she gave birth to my daughter, her body couldn't hold out anymore. And, well, it was snowed in that day, and she had to stay in our bedroom. Dead body. She had to stay.
Oh, that's so horrible. I'm so
sorry. I get so broken up talking about it.
I'm so sorry. Oh, my goodness. Is there anything I can do to help you out? Is there anything? Best of times.
Well, no, I'm sorry. I should not have burdened you with that. I'm sorry. It was many years ago. We got a beautiful daughter now. She's 8. I'm over it. It's just, I don't know what made you say the name Holly when your name's Noel, but it just took me back and made me realize that, maybe there was a little something missing in my life. But that's neither here nor there. You're cold. Let's get you some clothes. Why don't you sit at the diner and you have grandma's a plate of warm apple pie from grandma's and her special cocoa.
They move into the diner and open the door. The diner is full of bustling people. There's a sense of cheer. And of course, there's Christmas music playing on the jukebox. A kindly, portly older woman, probably in her early 50s, is busy mopping down the countertop after having just shoved a couple of plates of gingerbread cookies and some apple pie. She looks up as the two characters walk in. Christians, you find yourself another stray. Bring her on over here.
Oh, Grandma, be kind now. Miss Noel Kiss, right? Yeah.
Yes.
She had a little problem. The icy conditions out there. Her suitcase, all her clothes, They went in the mush. And I told her she could have some clothes from our gift shop. And I'll tell you what, if it's all right with you, Miss Kiss, I'm going to take, we can take those clothes to our house, which is just behind the diner, and I'll throw them in the washer for you so you can get a whole set of clothes ready for you in a little while.
That would be wonderful. Thank you. That'd be wonderful. The matron, the grandma looks at him and goes, well, it looks like you'll be just in time because we've got, at the end of our lunch, our first tradition, which is the ice skating dance-off. Worst of times.
Worst of times.
Yeah, right.
Ice skating? Oh my God, ice skating. I broke my ankle when I was 7 years old ice skating. I can never get on a pair of ice skates.
Well,
that's a terrible tradition. Don't you know that the CDC and the Center for Pediatric Health has said that children shouldn't ice skate because they can fall and bang their heads and get concussions?
Well, I mean, but it's Christmas, Noel, and I mean, Christmas is a time to celebrate all these beautiful traditions, and I mean, we can't be afraid of everything, can we?
You know, Christmas, I'm sorry, I don't mean to tread on your kindness. Christmas is a nice time of year, but we can't let it get in the way. We can't let those kind of traditions get in the way of practicality and the things like taking care of ourselves and conducting business and getting promotions and closing deals and doing an IPO.
I don't know all those fancy terms, but I guess that kind of makes sense. Well, if you feel like you don't want to be a part of that tradition, you can just sit and watch. I'll go bring your clothes over and get them dried up, and then I'll come back with some clothes that my dead wife Holly had that you could wear.
Best of times. Oh, dear, I understand. You don't like ice skating and you don't believe in Christmas and the spirit, and that's okay. We get a lot of folks like you coming through town, but a warm slice of Grandma's apple pie in a few days here in the town of Snowy Brook Falls, and you might be singing a different tune.
Oh, well, this pie does taste delicious, and is that homemade eggnog? Oh, my goodness. I would love to try a little bit of that.
It is. We use eggs from the chickens we keep in the back.
Oh, wait. Is the backyard the Snowy Brook Falls Evergreen Farm?
It is. This town was founded years and years ago based on the most beautiful fir trees this side of the Mississippi or that side of the Mississippi. Frankly, it is the pride and joy of Snowy Brook Falls. And the chickens, they love those fir trees.
Oh, that sounds amazing. Well, I'd love to see them, and I'd love to meet the owner, actually. I don't know if he's available right now.
Well, the owner? No, the owner.
Worst of times, yeah.
Oh, no, the owner, he went away. He went to an ashram in Pennsylvania.
An ashram in Pennsylvania? Well, that's so far away from here. That's at least 2 days' drive. Well, I was really hoping to talk to him, so I guess I'll just have to stay here for 2 days and maybe just help out around here or something.
Well, you could stay here, but the problem is that, you know, the Snowflake Inn and the Northside Inn, they're all booked up, and the only place you'd have to sleep, I guess you could stay in our house. We don't want to turn away a stranger, but we're a little worried about some of you big city people and the traditions. If you stay with us, you have to accept our traditions while you're here.
Best of times. Well, I would be a poor guest if I did not say yes to those things. Let me help out with those traditions in whatever way I can. You're extending a lot of kindness to let me stay in the house.
Well, that's good. And you're extending a lot of kindness to... Oh, look, Chris is back. Hi, Grandma. Yes, I got the clothes in the washer dryer. It's going to take a little while, but if you want to just hang out, you can eat. And I'll tell you what, since I'm not sure what business brings you here, but I'm happy to show you around the town a little bit and maybe see what you're missing in that big city.
Oh, that would be great. The only thing is that I'm kind of dressed a little bit lightly for this kind of cold outdoors. I don't know if you've brought anything that maybe I can wear. Worst of times.
Well, the only thing we have is in the gift shop. We have sweaters.
Oh, Christian, you should get her the sweater that your dead wife used to wear.
Yes, that's what I was thinking. It's the warmest sweater in the land. Looks like the gift shop is all sold out, so here. It's still... It's been 8 years, but I can still smell her on it just a little bit. That smell of Chanel and gingerbread. But here,
Best of
She would be
times.
happy to know that someone as sweet and kind and beautiful as you was wearing it.
Oh well, thank you so much. And I think I would love to go see what some of your beautiful town's traditions are. Shall we go for a walk?
Yes.
Scene.
And scene.
Oh God! I was like, dude, I feel bad because I was kind of using the fact that we weren't on stage, but when I threw the worst of times, I was miming to Avish. I'm like, ugly sweater, get the ugly sweater. I was like, you have to do it. And you were like, I can still smell her gingerbread. Oh, that's horrible.
All right, so we've established that she's there. She's not super happy about the tradition, not a very Christmassy person, and she wants to get to that farm. So I suggest we switch.
Yeah.
Let's do theatrical genres first,
Okay.
and we'll kind of go through the whole progression of like her learning about the furs and trying to buy it, and then we'll kind of go into old job, new job for the big tradition that she'll win.
Sure.
And then we'll kind of end with the fiance showing up, or maybe the fiance will show up at the beginning of act.
Yeah, that's fine. That's great. But I like what you're thinking.
So now we're gonna do theatrical genres, where we will start with a scene, and then at one point, either one of us can call out a theatrical genre, and we will just have to take it on, whatever, and we'll act it out. Like the characters will be that, so it'll kind of change a lot, but each new genre will have to kind of carry on and continue the elements and things that happened before it. All right.
Yep.
So we'll pick up, say, the next day at Grandma and Chris's house as they're getting ready for their morning breakfast, getting ready for their day.
By the way, like it's not just Chris, it's Christian.
Christian, little on the nose.
I know it's a
like
Hallmark
all these
movie.
movies are.
I know. I'm having a lot of fun with this. All right, so yeah, breakfast at that morning. The camera pans up to watch a tousle-haired Noelle stumbling out in her little bathrobe, which of course is wearing little Christmas trees and things like that. Right? She stumbles out and bumps into a 7-year-old girl with beautiful blonde hair. Hello, Missy. Hi.
Oh, hello. What's your name?
My name's Elsa. Hello. How are you? Are you
Elsa?
Are you
What
part
a perfect name for a little blonde girl.
right? Are you family? Are you staying with us?
Oh, Elsa. Sorry, you were sleeping when we came. Oh no, this is Miss Kiss, and she's just gonna be staying with us a day or two while we get her kind of clothes fixed up, and she's here for business.
Okay, Daddy. And Elsa runs over and hugs David's leg. Oh, Christian's leg. Excuse me, Christian's leg. Okay, Daddy. I'm gonna go down and get the eggs now for breakfast. Okay. She turns.
All right, you go ahead, Elsa.
She turns and flounces down the stairs. Genre switch. Animal documentary.
And now we see the two, male and the female of the species, engaging in a strange ritualistic mating dance, where neither will reveal that they are interested in the other, but neither will say they are not.
Notice the way that they're actually walking towards their natural affinity towards green things. And look right there, the mistletoe located right in front of the top of the stairs. They're both approaching because they're drawn to it, even though they're not understanding why they're drawn to it. Back to soap opera.
Oh, Grandma must have hung the mistletoe here. How strange. I don't know why she did that. That's we haven't hung mistletoe in 8 years. We haven't hung mistletoe.
Oh, she looks off in the distance. I understand how hard this is for you. And if there's anything I can do to help you out, slapstick comedy. As she leans in, she steps on one of the little toy cars of Elsa's, flips. Oh!
Oh my gosh, are you okay? He goes to fall and he stumbles down the stairs. The two land in a heap on top of each other. Excuse me.
Yes. So sorry. Are you okay?
Here, let me get up. Here, let me give you a hand.
Oh, thank you.
As Chris reaches down to grab her hand, he slips and falls directly on top of her. Now the two he's right on top of her and they are nose to nose.
Yes. Michael Mann, tense crime drama.
Do you have something to say, Miss Kiss?
I think everything that needs to be said can be said with my eyes.
I think everything can be said with my nose. I'm smelling gingerbread and Chanel on you.
Yeah. So What's the big deal? I happen to find some Chanel in the bedroom you let you stay in. And let me tell you something. It's the kind of Chanel that makes me feel like a woman empowered.
Hey, you two, stop fornicating on the floor. It's breakfast time. Get the hell over here before I blow your brains out.
Indie character study. The two of them walk over and sit down. So, did you sleep well last night, Noelle?
I did. But then I awoke at about 1:35 a.m. and I thought I saw a vision of a woman standing at the foot of my bed, and it got me thinking about my life. And if I were to die young, like the lady of this house did, what would my life to amounted to? Some lumber, some money, a fiance who's kind of a douche. Is that really all there is in life? In my life? In anyone's life? Is that what we want out of life? Or should we want more?
As she's talking, they're slowly placing plates down. As you can see, the plates are wreathed with a Noel-shaped set of green decorations around it. You really bring up a good point there. Chinese wuxia opera. And
you think I bring up a good point? I wasn't saying that for your approval.
Well, if you will feel that way about that, then perhaps we should take this outside. As he does, the window flies open and the 8-year-old girl dances in, running across the wall and flipping fried eggs out of the plates.
Oh, I will gladly step outside after I fuel myself.
Come, join me outside where you may see what we're having with our next tradition. For this is the #1 tradition of our small town of Snowy Brook Falls. And quickly, he dives through the window and gracefully starts jumping from pine tree to pine tree, from evergreen to evergreen.
Oh, just because you're in Snowy Brook Falls, it doesn't mean that I haven't trained. I've jumped from skyscraper to skyscraper where I'm from. And she jumps up and jumps from pine tree to pine tree, following him. They pursue each other to the center of town. Sci-fi horror. They land in the center of a town where a giant egg is pulsing in the middle of the ground. Oh, Christian.
Yes, Noel.
Have you ever seen? Is this part of your Christmas tradition? This giant egg?
Yes, and it's one of the toughest things that we can do, which is every year a giant egg erupts out of the ground and begins pulsing. The legends say that if we don't contain this egg in some sort of hard structure, the egg will erupt and a giant villainous Christmas chicken will come and eat the entire town. This is why our town is so healthy, because every year we contain the Christmas chicken. But unfortunately, the person who runs our lumberyard is on an ashram in Pennsylvania, and we have no one who understands how to properly build a structure that can contain this giant mutant egg.
Noel puts on a flirty smile and looks at him. Well, Christian, you are in luck, because I happen to be the future CEO of the future largest lumber company in the world. And if you give me just the right type of wood, I will build a structure that will contain this egg and prevent your giant chicken death this Christmas Eve.
You would do that. You would help us with this tradition.
A buddy cop.
Well, let me tell you something. In the 8 years that I've been, ever since my wife Holly died, in these 8 years, it's always been me by myself doing this. And I had never had a partner before in my life. And I don't know if I'm ready to have one right now, Miss Noel.
Well, I'll tell you what, Christian. We ain't partners. We ain't buddies. Hell, we are barely acquaintances. But if you help me build this up, we achieve both of our same goals. So you help me build this structure, I'll save your town, and then I can buy this damn fur farm so we can tear it down and I can get all the fur and we can be the biggest lumber company in the world.
Well, I don't have to like it, but I have to live with it. You got yourself a deal. And scene! We now
All
have,
right, so-
we now have the new tradition.
The new Christmas tradition is preventing the Christmas egg from bursting open, revealing a giant chicken that will eat everyone in the town.
A mutant chicken.
And remember, this was not the supernatural Hallmark movie.
I was thinking that. I'm like, how? And there was a dead wife that showed up in a mystical thing. I was like, I
Oh,
guess
she just thought she saw the dead wife, but
hey, man, Chekhov's gun, man. Everything's reincorporated.
anything goes, baby. Anything goes. All right, so this brings us
Can I just say, I'm losing track of all the Christmas names. We dropped so many in that I'm like, Holly, Elsa, Christian, Noel. It's like,
So we kind of already did Old Job New. We already did the scene where she used her old job, so I don't think we need to do Old Job New Job.
no, man. I'm screwing
All right,
everything up.
So we're going to jump then to Act 4. We're going to finish the end of this story of near miss kiss with Noel kiss.
We already had one. We had a near miss kiss. We did it. Yep.
We had a near miss kiss. They have they're building their structure, and she is getting ready to buy out the firm, take the fir tree, and we will see how this moves to a conclusion.
I have no idea where this is going to go.
So let's begin. That's what makes it fun. All right, so we will pick up the action. We'll open with a scene of the two of them, Noel and Christian, standing side by side, admiring their handiwork at the beautiful wooden frame they have built to contain the Christmas chicken egg.
We did it, Noel. We did it. I can't believe that it was like you were born to do this job. You're born to be a part of these traditions.
Well, I will admit that when we started this project, I was really just looking at it from the lumber perspective, but eating that apple pie and even watching the kids skate and seeing your daughter this morning and helping build this chicken egg containing frame, it's really made me think that maybe by not paying attention to Christmas all these years, I've really been missing something.
Yes, and I've been missing something the last 8 years, ever since Holly passed away. I've been missing that person to complete my life, to make a family for me and Elsa as they lean in and start to kiss. Go for it.
Cut to a jaguar, a silver, shiny jaguar pulling up. Noel, what the hell are you doing still here? I thought you were going to have a quick trip. And what? Did you build something while you were here?
Dave, I was trying to call you, but there's no phone service here. There's no cell phones. Yes, Christian and I built. Dave, this is Christian. Christian, this is Dave.
Oh, hey, Christian. Yeah, nice to meet you. This is a very nice town you got here.
Well, thank
babe,
you.
did you buy the farm yet? Can we get out of here so we can tear this thing down and build our?
Buy the farm? I'm sorry. What do you mean buy the farm? I thought you were here to do some sort of talk about tree analysis and things like that.
Well, yes. I'm sorry, Christian. I've been meaning to tell you. I did come to do tree analysis, but that was a financial analysis. You see, my dad's lumber company, which I'm going to take over, we know your farm has been struggling, and we wanted to buy it so that we could use the lumber to take our companies to the next level. And but I had that plan before I came and got to know you and the town and your daughter and the chicken eggs.
I never thought that someone like you, I thought that you were the real thing. I thought that you really believed in all of this great thing of the small town Christmas spirit. But I now know we're just dollars and cents to you. Just money. I don't want to.
Babe, come on. Can we please get in the car? If we leave now, we can be back home and we can make the Hustler Club's Christmas extravaganza by the 10 o'clock show.
Okay, Dave, I'll get in the car right now. Christian, I'm sorry. I never wanted it to be like this. I realize now that this is a great town, but I have a job to do. Here are the documents. If you can make sure that the head of the Snowy Brook Falls Evergreen Farms gets them, I'll be back to take up the check and finalize the offer next week after Christmas.
All right, well, as Noel leaves the car, Christian reaches out. Wait, Noel.
Yes?
Here, it can be a little cold even in the car. Here. And he hands Noel the Christmas sweater.
The ugly sweater.
The ugly Christmas sweater. Oh, jeez, Noel, you're going to bring that back with us?
Cut to Holly and Christian 9 years ago getting that ugly Christmas sweater.
Sweaters for sale, sweaters for sale. Here's one that's a beautiful one. Look, it's got kind of a reindeer, but it's not really a reindeer. And it's got kind of like Bruce Willis, but it's not Bruce Willis from Die Hard 1, it's from Die Hard 3, because that was not a Christmas movie. That way I don't have to deal with rights for it.
Oh my God. Christian, look at it. It is so ugly. I love it. Can you? Oh, look, it's like a Rudolph with a red nose. It looks like he was bit on the nose by a spider. He looks so cute.
Yeah, it's pretty hideous, man. I mean, how did you get this thing so bad? Well, the problem is that I've got severe jaundice in my hands and I'm missing 3 fingers. So basically everything is just kind of a big run of random sewing techniques put together. The thing just falls apart at will, but it's really warm while it lasts.
Christian, I know it's a little expensive, but listen, I want you to buy it for me for Christmas, and I want you to pay him double because he looks like he could use the money, and it'll be a Christmas gift to him, and it'll be a Christmas gift for me.
Oh, I think it's a great idea. I'll definitely do that. Cut to Noelle and David in the car as the sweater finally begins to give up the ghost. I don't know what you see in these guys, Noelle. I mean, they're just a bunch of country bumpkins. When we get back to the big city, to our little apartment, everything's going to be so great.
Oh, David, they were nice. They were nice people, and I thought they were yokels too, but when you get to know them, they're kind and caring. I don't know anyone in the city who would have opened their homes to me in a time of need like they did. It was a really nice experience that made me think about a lot of things.
Oh, yeah. I'm trying to, if they're such great people, then why is that sweater starting to slowly, just completely disintegrate, huh?
Well, it's old. It belonged to a dead woman, and he gave it to me.
Dead woman? Oh, cut to Christian getting the sweater back after Holly died.
Oh, I can't believe you died in this sweater, but let me get it off your... I just don't want to leave.
What are you doing opening that coffin? She's already been embalmed, and the funeral is in 10 minutes.
Shut up, Uncle Joey. Damn it, I'm related to the funeral director, so you just sit there and be quiet. This is my wife. I don't want her buried in this sweater. I want to hold on to this sweater. I want to smell gingerbread and Chanel anytime I feel sad, which is going to be all the time until someone comes along and melts my frozen heart.
Cut to Noelle having the change of heart in the car.
David, stop the car.
What is it, Noelle?
I want to go back.
Back where? Back to the big city? That's where we're going.
Oh, back to Snowy Brook Falls. David, listen, we were never meant to be together. We were never right. You know that. I know that. I've just been denying it this whole time. And I want to go back and help those people in Snowy Brook Falls.
I never thought I'd say this because you're a great, great woman. But you're right. We're making it work. But the truth is, I should be in the big city, being your eyes and ears over at our giant lumber company, and you should be where you need to be, with the people making the trees, with the people helping to make all the miracles that is lumber. You should be here. I'll tell you what, I'll drop you off at the Greyhound bus right down the street.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much for understanding, David. And listen, when we get back, I know you and Deborah had a connection for a long time, and you'll have my blessing. I think you two are a much better fit for each other than you and I ever were. Oh,
Noelle, you're truly an angel from heaven. Thank you so much. Yes, well, let me get you that Grand bus and get you back here. Cut to the Christmas dance that is now not happening because there's no wood left to make the tables.
Oh my goodness, I've got all these pies and nowhere to put them, and now we can't have the dance and because no one here knows how to work with lumber.
Oh my gosh, it's going to be a Christmas nightmare. I couldn't believe this. If in 8 years we've never had this problem happen, and now he's even got the great chicken contained, and all for naught.
Christian, you need to get your head on straight. You need to get in a car and go to the big city and go after Noelle. I have never seen you smile in the last 8 years, and you drove away the only good woman we've had here and the only one who knows anything about lumber.
You're right. I've been a fool. Noelle has been the greatest thing that's happened to me and Elsa, and she deserves to be here and part of this.
Daddy?
Yeah, Elsa.
Why did you make Noelle go away?
Well, honey, sometimes people need to make choices as to what's the most important thing. As he's saying this, the Greyhound bus pulls up. And for Noelle, what was the most important thing was this town.
Oh, she comes tromping through the snow, running up to them. Oh, Christian, I'm sorry. Can you forgive me? I never should have lied to you and misled you. And you know what? I'm not going to rip up your whole fur. If you'll let me, I would like to invest and be a co-owner of the fur farm with your town, infuse the money you need, and we'll only take enough to make sure your farm is sustainable forever.
Oh, Noel. I think it's a wonderful idea. And I've really realized that you were born to be here in this town with us. But it's not up to me. It's up to my father, who owns the fir tree farm. Yes, that's right. I'm back from my ashram. Cut to the auditions for the surprise appearance of the A-list actor who's playing the dad.
All right. First in, we've got Richard Dreyfuss for the role of Ashram Dad.
Yes, here we go here. So it looks to me like I've got some sort of tree fetish thing going, right? Okay, fine, whatever. Yes, it is. Sure, been my lower farm the whole life, and I really love to give it to my.
Thanks, Richard.
But no, I'm just getting warmed up.
We'll be in touch. We'll be in touch with your agent.
Next one, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson coming in to read for the ashram father of the fir trees.
Let me tell you what I think about your fir tree farm. You there, you woman. I've never seen you before. What's your name? It doesn't matter what your name is.
Cut to The Rock with the epic ending as the final cast for Daddy Ashram of the fir tree thing. So Noel, I can't ask. It has to be my father. Dad, somebody here wants to ask you something.
Hello, son. Hey, what's going on in this town? I leave this town for 3 days. What have you guys been doing to our town?
Well, Dad, I want you to meet this girl, Noelle. I don't know her last name, actually, but she's helped to change the town for the better. She corralled the mutant chicken. She helped, and now she's volunteering to help become a co-owner in the fir tree farm that you built. So we can.
You there, Missy?
Yes.
You're the one with fir tree farm.
Yeah, yes, I am. My name is Holly, sir.
You like chicken?
I do like chicken. I like chicken.
You like eggs?
I like eggs a lot. I like Christmas eggs, yes.
Well, you know what you should do?
What?
What I want you to take some chicken and eggs,
Yeah.
shine them up, turn that son sideways, and shove it straight up your candy ass!
Oh!
Whoa! I'm just messing with you, kitty. Listen, I knew all about your plan. The Rock knew all about, the ashram dad, knew all about your farm plan, and I came just to see if my son could handle things without me. Well, you know what, Christian?
Yeah, Dad.
You did a mind-fine job!
Oh, Dad, this is great. This is fantastic. Well, it sounds to me like everything's all set up. And look, it's snowing.
Yes, it's like a Christmas miracle. And Christian, I just came back here on a Greyhound bus, and I didn't make a reservation. I don't have any place to stay still.
Well, let me tell you something. We've got a whole huge house here, and for someone who's going to stay and be a co-owner, we've got a full kitchen and a full bedroom full of great Christmas food. If you smell what the dad is cooking.
Well, Dad, that's great, but I think we can rent that out because I think, Noelle, I've got a room in our house you can stay in if you're willing to.
Oh, I think that would be a wonderful idea. It would be the best Christmas present ever. Come on, let's get me moved in and let's get this wonderful Christmas holiday started and get the pies out for the Christmas tradition.
The camera hands away as Christian leans in and gives Noelle her first or non-miss kiss.
Yes, Jingle Bells plays in the background as the camera moves away and fades to black with a single star shining.
And see!
I was a legit ending. I was like, so glad we got the rock in. I was like,
although I realized, I'm not sure what to do with the Rock impression other than catchphrases from 20 years ago as the Rock. But hey, it was fun.
We're doing the Rock from his Nation of Domination time, right?
Yeah, not Dwayne Johnson, not the movie star for the last 20 years, but literally 1999 Rock.
I had the Rock in my brain because I'd just seen Red Notice with him and Ryan Reynolds, which is exactly what you should watch on Netflix. You should not spend any money to see it at the theater, but you should spend $10 a month to watch on Netflix. And I was like, the Rock coming in. That was great, man. It's good to know you still remember. I was like trying to remember the catchphrase and you were banging them out. I was like, oh, all right.
Oh, yeah, I have a memory for stupid, useless knowledge. All right, so that was our sort of non-supernatural Hallmark movie.
Minus the Predator-esque chicken that was being...
ton of fun. And I believe, if my scheduling is correct, this is going to be our first of our holiday movies. And I think it's a great way to kick things off. Hopefully,
Yes.
You guys listening had as much fun listening as we obviously did performing it. If you did, again, share the link, let others know about it, leave us a rating on your podcast app, and ideally a short review, letting people know how they can find us. If you want more info about us, go to avishandmike.com, avishandmike.com. You can see all of our episodes there. You can contact us, give us suggestions for future episodes. And there's some blog posts there now, too, about some content around improv and stuff. So we're just having a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So, Mike, great job as always.
Yeah, Vish, great job. That was a lot of fun. We actually, I think, gave a good, loving homage to the Hallmark thing, right?
I think so, even with our giant chicken egg. So it was pretty good. Well, thank you all for listening, and we will see you next week, which should be another Christmas-themed episode.
Thanks again for listening to Comedy by Indie Drop-In. If you would like your show featured, reach out to us at Indie Drop-In on all social media or go to indiedropin.com. See you next time.